So if you saw my other video of the obsidian flows at the Newberry caldera, you may be surprised to know that these lava tubes that I am exploring are actually of that same origin from Newberry. Now, basaltic lava flows, and when it flows it goes quite far because it's less viscous than some of our other cascades partners, if you will, that have a much more sticky magma. See, this is the crazy thing, is that these are just right underneath an airport. Never mind the plane, just Delta taking off. But yeah, that's kind of the crazy part, is that these are right inside of Redmond, like just a little bit south of the airport. I mean, I hope they checked before they built the airport, obviously, but I mean, we're quite a ways away from Newberry at this point in time, and yet these lavas are still from that area. Now, this next cave we're actually going to be able to walk through. I'm again out here by myself, so there's some other side channels that theoretically speaking you could walk down, but again, by myself, trying to be as quote unquote safe as possible. So we'll get over to this other one and get down into it and see what's in there. Old lava tubes are always fun, both in the sense of being used for Native Americans getting in here and having shelter, as well as, well, it's quiet in here, as well as also being a spot to store food on a hot summer's day. God, it's very quiet in here, especially since there's a highway just right over there. But these are old lava tubes. Lights don't necessarily do it justice, but that goes back quite a ways. And let me tell you, it's freaky being in one of these by yourself. I've been in several caves before, but never isn't awkward. It's very quiet though. And all of the formations, and especially these little drip bits where the lava kind of dripped off the edge there. See how far back it goes. There's a couple different cave structures, at least here in South Oregon. Northern California too. Lava tubes everywhere. Some in South Washington. And the strit's getting a little narrow, so we'll probably have to turn around a little bit. And you can see it gets dark pretty quick. As well as I've been in a couple caves in Idaho, in Craters of the Moon. Really fun little place if you ever get the chance to go. It doesn't look like I can go much further than this without really getting on my belly or anything like that. So let's go explore the other caves. Alright, cave number 2, and allegedly this one is a little bit bigger than the last one. My headlamp picks a really good time to act weird. If you walk through this whole one with me as I adjust my lights and make sure that everything is on, because walking through these without lights is not a good idea. But let's descend into madness, if you will. These are a little bit smaller than the ones in Idaho, but there's some more of those little drips and droplets that you see. Yeah, some graffiti, so people have definitely come through here. But yeah, into the darkness we go. Can you imagine doing this without a flashlight? Like, just crazy. But it's not crazy if it works, right? It's good for storing food, good for sheltering from the elements. I mean, you don't have to come very far in here to be sheltered. And yeah, my headlamp go off? My headlamp did go off. Now let's not do that. There we go. Brighter. There we go. Nice and bright now. We can see. Oh, it went off again. Oh, that's not good. 2, 3, 4. There we go. Let's just not touch it. We do have a hand lamp, but I prefer having both. Both lights are good. So you can see some of the structures. Looks like some little bird or something has made its home up there. Maybe it's water coming through. Probably water. No bats though. Bats are always fun to see in these things because you never expect them, and they're really quiet, and they look like little sky rats. This is fun. can't get over the sense of how quiet this is. And mind you, I am the only person out here today. That goes left. That gets tight. I wish I had a brighter light. This is just like incredible how like rank this is. And of course, you're not seeing very much because I can't seem to hold a light steady. That way gets too tight, allegedly. And this way seems to get too tight too. That's interesting. The sign on the board back over there made it sound like I could walk through, but I don't know about you, but that doesn't look like I can get through. At least in my head, I'm not crawling through that. Yeah, it does look like you'd crawl through there, but again, by myself, I gotta be careful. Maybe. Yeah, I don't see the light. I actually watched a YouTube video that was talking about a gentleman over in Kentucky that he was trying to excavate a cave to create a tourist attraction, and he got stuck in there, and he was under there for almost 2 weeks. And unfortunately, he didn't make it. Yeah, that gets too tight back in there too. Yeah, combined power lights. All right, well, thought we were going to be able to walk through, but I guess not. We'll go back out the way we came. Anyways, you descended into a cave with me for a whole 4 minutes. Always fun. But anyways, so the gentleman, he went into a cave by himself and was trying to create a tourist attraction, and he got stuck. And there were several attempts to try and save him. All were unsuccessful, unfortunately, and he perished in the cave. But just the chaotic story that it was, his life and the end of it was just really intense to read, or watch, I should say. And yeah, I mean, it sucks for the family, but you know, people got to do what they got to do and like what they do. Another cave off the list. We'll see about the other one, since apparently I couldn't get through this one. Back into the light. This is a case of walk towards the light. Alright, third time's a charm. This is allegedly the one that other one that we were just visiting came out into. So we'll get a little closer to this one and take a look. And I know I'm freaking some people out by doing this, because some people are claustrophobic. And a little factoid for you, I'm absolutely freaked out going into these things. But taking it slow, not doing anything that I shouldn't be doing by myself. And of course it's starting to rain, so now's a perfect example of when people would take advantage of these little hidey holes. This is going to get tight. This would be a case where having head protection would probably be a good idea. But again, you get to experience things in 3 dimensions, so back into the darkness. I'll turn on the light now. Actually, what happens if I bring both lights out? See if that works. Makes it even brighter. Oh, that helps a little bit. Alright. Keeping that head down. Oh wow. Here, look at this. Look at these little ripples. I don't know if you can make those out very well. Oh yeah, there you go. So those are when the magma, or I guess lava at this point, starts to cool. And if there's some on the roof like this, it starts to drip down, and as it hardens, you get a little bloop like that. So let's see what's going on here, because this is allegedly doubling as the exit on the other side. I think I see exactly what's going on. Too tight of a fit. Sure looks to me like that's some weird stuff. Wow, look at this up here. That's a nice little ribbon challenge, if you will. I'm curious why this is wet. I don't want to touch it. I assume it's water, but yeah, I'm assuming I'm going to walk into this cavern here. Yeah, I'm going to assume that's where you're coming out, but this gets a little tight, especially down there. Again, I'd rather not be in here. Something fall on me, or you know, caca, and something scares me and I make a wrong move or something. Not a good idea. Good excuse to come back though. Get a full view of the cavern. And we'll descend back out. I gotta duck low. At least I'm not crawling on my belly. I've had to do that in some caves before. That's where it gets scary, when you gotta pinch yourself in and out of places. Let's see. these are interesting. There's kind of a hole, or holes. Go up above me too. This is so interesting how things come to rest in their final places when we come to observe them. And of course, then there's the whole Schrodinger's cat argument of, is it in that position until you observe it, or is it always in that position? So, always fun. Anyways, we're gonna check off from this place, the Redmond Caves. We're gonna head back towards the light and continue on. We'll see you on the next one. Here's a perfect example of Zach being smart, because here's another one, and I don't know if you can't tell, I think it's pretty narrow, pretty quick, and yeah, that would not be very smart to do by myself. But we're gonna turn around and go back to the other one. I'll walk back over there. It's not terribly far. It's interesting that these must be the same, and I can't confirm this, but these must be the same lava tube structure, because they're all within, I don't know, less than a quarter mile from the parking lot over here. And it's such an interesting little geologic oddity that it's just, you know, right on the side of the highway. I barely made out the sign as I was driving around. Luckily, Google turned me right, if you will. Another fun thing that I do when I'm out here, and this might just be me, is the sagebrush. There's different kinds of sagebrush, but if you take it, you can get a good smell out of it. But then when you crush it up, it releases those oils that are inside of it and gives you a completely different smell. And it's funny, my wife always makes fun of me because we'll be walking along a trail out in eastern Washington, and she'll just hear me sniffing behind her because I'm sitting there with the sagebrush. But it smells good. Learned it from a good friend over in eastern Washington, who a lot more knowledgeable at the lands than I am. And always good to learn from people that know more.